Welcome back, everybody. I am Kieran, and we are back with more Dragon Quest Monster. Uh, in between episodes, I've done a little bit of grinding. We got Sky up to level 10, Patch is now level 13, and we are ready for a little combining. I'm trying to think of a nice way to say that. So we are going to actually use Patch and Sky here and see what we make. The reason I'm using these two is because both of them... Alright, so Medusa's Eye. I don't really want Medusa's Eye. Both of them are at that nice boss area kind of feel to them. I know Sky Dragon is a boss in one of the games, and I actually think he's a boss in this game too, and Patch is obviously a boss in this one. So I want to see what these two can end up making, and seems like a new monster. So this is one of those kind of like a pseudo-legendary from Pokemon. They're extremely powerful monsters in their own class. So let's see what happens. I think it's a Codal, if I'm not mistaken. It has been a hot moment. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Codal. Yep. 20 to hatch it, is that okay? No, I don't want to hatch it just yet. But while we are here, let's go ahead and see what else we can do. We got Draki, who is a level 12. And we have Golem, as well as Gig. We have Big Rooster, and we have Tree Face. Gig I actually want to keep for Golem. Golem I want to keep as well. He's actually useful for something. I guess it's just Tree Face that I got. So... do we go for a plant or a bird? Let's see what our options are. If we go Tree Face and we select Draki, what does that give us? A wing tree number 1. Okay. I'm not a big fan of that. So let's see. If we go Draki first, and we go Tree Face, a Floral J. Floral J's aren't really that cool either. You know what? Forget it. We'll go with the Wing Tree. Wing Tree will be born. Its mate you have not had yet. And it's going to save every time. That way you can't get them back if what you've created just isn't good. Unless you're running save states, haha. And this one I actually don't mind going ahead and hatching, because it'll affect... It won't affect anything major, but it'll change what I'm gonna do next. Female, okay. Wig Tea? Yeah, Wing Tree is gonna be Wig Tea. And yeah, we are taking Wig Tea with us. Anything else? No, we're good for right now. So we're going back up to the evaluator, and we're going to chit-chat with her for a moment and see what Codal's going to end up being. I said Codal should... yes. Talk to me, talkie. Very healthy, high HP. Gonna have great stat growth from it. It's gonna be slow. And it's a boy. That's all I need to know. Thank you. If you want to get real cheesy and you have a good bit of time on your hand, you can go talk to her, save the game before you chit-chat with her, pay her, and then turn off your game, kick it back on, and the information will stay the same, because the stats and stat growth of the egg happen when it is presented to you, not when she talks about it. Okay, that looks kind of cool, not gonna lie. Not the best sprite in the world, but it looks cool. There's some old Dragon Quest bosses and models that I wish they would bring back. Like Crespin's one of those. Alright, what are we gonna name? Cole? Colt. Yeah, we'll go with Colt. Colt's a good one. Yeah, we're gonna take it with us. Thank you. No, that's it. Awesome. Woot woot. So, an interesting thing you'll notice, these guys have a plus in their family category. What that means is their stat growth and their maximum level is significantly 43 at level 1? Cheese and crackers, mate. That is boss. But what it means is that their maximum level has increased, as well as their stat growth. What would be normal stat growth for a basic slime, where it would get, say, 1 in each category or whatever, they get an additional 1 to it. And I think for each one it goes up, it increases bit by bit and more by more. Hey there, bud. Talk to this gentleman, see if he's got anything in the jar. No, garbage. Not standing underneath you, you poop at people. They won't let you walk off the ledge. He is still doing his thing. Alright, so nothing's changed in the farm. Each time you complete a Starry Night tournament, or you end up completing certain dungeons, the Great Tree will grow and change. And it will eventually make it where certain areas have extensions, adaptions. It makes the arena a little bigger as well. And it affects the shopping area over here. Flash warning. Because you'll see there's this guy down here, and his little bush that he is hanging out on and not selling me anything because he's a jerk, is slowly getting smaller and smaller. And eventually, this one over here will grow out and connect too, so we can get to that gate. But I gotta get through the Starry Night tournament first. So since I have some fresh leveled newbies here, we are going to go get them some XP and level them up a little bit, and then we're going to take on that Starry Night tournament. Normally I would go hit up the bonus dungeon that we have access to, which is down the well in the Witch Doctor's little underground basement. But that requires you to have a monster that has an electric type skill, such as Zap or something of that nature. And since I unfortunately don't have that, I'm gonna have to push through this way. I will recommend, if you can get access to it early, do it. There is a special monster that appears in there called a Metal Slime, They are extremely tough and have extremely high defense and agility, but very low health. And getting one of them and beating it gives you such a massive amount of experience points that it makes it worth to actually go farming there, even late game. $27 XP. Wing Tree is going to end up growing crazy. Because plants also have the advantage of having a low XP pool that they have to get from. Because they're plants. They grow rampant and naturally. Well, dragons, on the other hand, take a long time to mature and grow. No. Colt, yep. Cast Umber, that's fine. I'm still gonna punch him in the face. Bam. Gotcha. And, yep, level 5. Learned Antidote. Level 6. Level 3. Level 4. Awesome. Oh, so another beautiful thing about using monsters or breeding them is that the monsters will gain the skills from the parents. Even their grandparents' skills will be inheritable. So you can end up with a monster who, by the end of it, knows almost every possible skill and ability. And that's kind of what you're aiming for with it. At a key point, your 3 main party members are going to have access to every skill possible that's going to show up. And because skills evolve and adapt with level and stats, it won't be a consistent... like, they won't constantly learn heal at level whatever, because intelligence also factors into certain ones. It's an interesting system, and I really do like it. It's just rather complicated if you're not familiar with it. Rob Magic, cool. And that's all of Draki's skills that Wing Tree now knows. So he hasn't learned any of his own skills and or talents yet, I don't think. Another good reason to poke your head into the library whenever you get a new monster, so that you know what skills they can learn. And if you end up wanting a monster that has certain moves and or abilities, it comes in good handy to be able to go looking through. Comes in good handy to go looking through to see exactly what you need. I keep seeing gold coins and I get my hopes up. I think we've only brought him like 4 of the tiny medals so far, or the mini medals. But 13 of them gives us that Zap Egg, and since the Voodoo Doctor is needing something that has the electric skill, getting the Zap Bird will help speed that up a lot better. And make this a much easier playthrough. But, I mean, I've beaten this game without ever once unlocking that dungeon, and it's doable. And luckily enough, this is one of those weird early RPGs for the Game Boy that you could beat it in 20 hours, 40 hours. it's short. Honestly, I think the sequel to this is... I think I beat it in 26 hours, was like the fastest. And that's not using like cheat codes, Game Sharks, or anything like that. I really enjoy Dragon Quest Monsters too. It was one of my... I think I got it when I was like in middle school or high school. Yeah, I think my last year of middle school going into high school, we popped into an old antique store or pawn shop. I don't remember where it was, but I was running around with my mom at the time. And we popped into this little antique store, and I just saw it sitting in there with this old Game Boy. And the lady was telling me that that the Game Boy doesn't work, and she couldn't get the game tested in either. And I chuckled because I'm like, it's a classic Game Boy, and that's a Game Boy Color card. It's not going to work for the obvious reasons. But I think I spent the next like 14 hours of that car ride in absolute and utter silence playing that on my Game Boy Advance. And that is one of the games I would also like to play at some point or another on the channel. Probably not after this. I think after this game, I have a few ideas. Nothing major. It's just I'm not going to jump right back into another big RPG. As much as I would love to. But Stop Spell. Oh, sweet. Stop Spell is super useful. But no, I'm playing Dragon Quest 3 2D HD remake right now in my spare time, and that has taken up so much of my thought processing, my brain space, and everything else in between that I am just about burnt out on turn-based RPGs for a moment. But by all means, pick up that game. That is a beautiful game. I love the new features to it. There are some things I'm sad that aren't there anymore. And even the item location and item placement, they've changed everything to it. The game itself, beautiful. Looks gorgeous, plays amazing. All the additional quality of life changes that they've done to the game as well works out great. Even certain dungeons are fast travelable, where in the past they weren't. So yeah, they've done a great job. I recommend that game. Just if you're a RPG fan in general, I recommend that one. Wingtree's gonna end up hitting 27. 57. Colt's got a long way to go. But we'll see. I won't stay around here. I'll probably head back to the dungeon that we got Pash at. That dungeon's a little bit longer. Ooh. But I know that the monsters there are much higher leveled. And should give us a good bit more XP than what I'm getting right now from punching rats. Even little fairy rats, punching them. There we go. Step guard. And a fairy rat. Yeah, let's take the fairy rat into the team. Make the jokes if you want to, but yeah, he is rat. He is rat B now. Now, go to the farm. Bring Gig back home, let him walk around, mark his territory. Yep, everything's the same. Let's go. Oh, but yeah, look at Wing Tree's MP. Like, his magic pull is 105 right now. That is crazy nonsense to me. Sleep. Cures poison, which is always great. Stills MP is fine. Protect from land hazards while traveling. So what that does is that makes it where poison panels and things of that nature won't actually do damage to us. And it should stop the toxic ones too. Toxic land panels are the absolute worst because they do percentile damage, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know the poison ones do minuscule amount of damage, which I think is percentile as well. But I think the toxic ones do 10, while the base poison I think only does 5. Ooh, yes. What's this one? Windstaff? Yeah. Windstaffs are cool, but they're not useful. They basically let you be able to cast Vacuum Strike or Vulcan Strike or however, but it does it scales it weird. There's a damage range that it can hit from, and unfortunately Windstaff just doesn't have the greatest damage range. I think Bolt and Lava have like the highest, and they can normally do in the hundreds to 200s, depending on weakness and whatever. Ooh, Cole got level 7 and Love Water. Better healing, yeah. Now that I'm needing healing right now, holy cow, I got a lot. Let's keep making magic. There we are. I am going to hoard items like crazy right now. Mostly because I would love to get my hands on a Beast Tail. Darn it. I hate poison. Well, that's okay. Wing Tree has Antidote as a skill, so we can just go ahead and get rid of that. The worst statuses in the game are the ones that linger after battles. Poison, Curse, and I'm trying to remember what the other one is. Alright. I don't know if it's paralysis or not. I think it might be paralysis. But yeah, any of those statuses that linger after a match are nightmares. I hate dealing with them. Warp Wing, heck yeah, that's gonna be our get out of dodge card if we need it, which we shouldn't. No, we should be good. Hello. You bugger. Of course. My greed will always be punished. Every time. Video game or real life? The second I get greedy. This is the second I'm gonna get jumped by 3 monsters from here to where I was. Sleep became sleep all. Awesome. Yup. Launch surprise, sleep air. Oh, I fell asleep. I was like, oh, somebody didn't fall asleep. Good. We're not gonna just get sleep stomped by a dragon. Awesome. Another unpleasant thing that can happen is, yeah, you get hit with sleep air or sleep all. Have every party member end up getting affected by it, and then you're stuck there for 4 turns while they just beat the ever-loving tar out of your monsters. And a phoenix. Okay. Cool. And we're gonna cast Bang. Sleep Ball doesn't fall asleep, Phoenix got hit by it, so that's 1 win. Gig strikes at you, and then we cast Bang. 24, Army Crab's out. Phoenix takes 14. Yeah, you cast Sleep as well, you jerk. Of course you do. Alright, we're just gonna attack this time around. Gig being asleep isn't gonna change any of the plans. Yeah. And we cast Sleep again. Wing Tree fell asleep that time. Gig woke up. And Colt, yeah. 184, sweet. And there's that heal. Cool. Alrighty. So, Colt's stats are redonkulous. Like, oh my jeez. He has dwarfed Gig in 3 stats already? 4, well, technically 4 with magic as well. But yeah. Yeah, with that little guy on our team, I think we are going to be able to clear through the next round of the tournament without any problems. Honestly, I think the only party member that I need to think about would be Gig himself. Alright, we're officially full up on items. That's fine. 6 out of... I took a step 1 too many down. Well, that's fine. I have a way of getting some beef jerky unloaded and seeing if I can get one of these guys to join me too. The pork wouldn't be bad. The caterpillar I'm not a fan of. Creepy man face bugs. Ugh. And the hork is down. Ah, nobody. Alright. Oh, you jerk. I'm trying to talk to you. I'll restore you if you can beat me. Yeah, sure. Second verse, same as the first. Let's get this one. We're going after the amberweed first? Okay. And it's down. Awesome. Alright. So tailwinds are interesting. Tailwinds can make it where your allies are protected from air-based attacks. So things like sleep air, fire breath, frost breath, things like that all get pushed back to your opponent, and they end up taking the damage for them. That includes if they have their own tailwind behind them. And I do apologize. I know this has been a boring and kind of grindy episode, but I wanted to show you all the little extra fun bits for the monster system and getting your own monsters and stuff. I will make that statement. Compared to Pokemon, which I love Pokemon, I really wish that they would have given us a better means for breeding in Gen 2. Since it was like the big mechanic for Gen 2 and all of the baby Pokemon that they've introduced with it as well, it didn't feel like a big thing. Like being able to get a Ditto outside of the daycare and immediately breed your starter to make another copy of your starter to trade to one of your friends. Cool. I like that addition. But I didn't find myself going to the daycare and like breeding Pokemon that great bit. And also, that was at that time when like shinies became a real thing, and everybody was super excited about that. And I don't know. I guess I was a kid and I didn't care. Is what I'm gonna chalk it up to. But it wasn't a great big it wasn't a great addition to the game that made a big, huge impact. Besides, I guess, story-wise, because Professor Elm asked you to go get the mysterious egg from Mr. Pokemon at the very beginning. And we're gonna... Yeah, I want to see what Wingtree and Colt can actually learn real quick. But yeah. There he is. Colt. 2 wing snakes. In order to create it, it can learn Bang, Evil Slash, and Bolt Slash. Bolt Slash is actually really cool. I wouldn't want to give him up though for... Alright, Wingtree. Yeah. Ooh, but he can learn Farewell and Zombie Cut. Interesting. Evil Seeds. Ooh, but he can learn Clean Cut, Paralyze, and Radiant. And Night Whip. Yep. But yeah. But yeah, I don't think I actually did, like, the whole breeding thing until, like, Gen 3. And it was because of, Nature's and, passive abilities as well. That ended up actually causing me to start playing around with that system. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Terry. And now we're going to begin the first match. Hey! Actually, I'm very glad I have this Wingtree on my side now that knows Antidote. Because... yeah, one of them's name is literally Poisengon. I have a strangely odd feeling on how this is gonna go. So, cautious, and we're gonna charge. 41, awesome. 26 knocks that one out, taking care of the biggest problem. Sleep Air. Doesn't affect, falls asleep, doesn't affect. Okay. Wingtree took a point of damage, and then he woke up. Attacks 42, taking him out, and Colt's gonna just crush this tree slime, unfortunately. Poor little guy. Blah boy. And we are going on to round 2. Round 2 we have A fan of dragons, apparently. Ooh, a Drake Slime, a dragon, and a fairy Drake. Nifty. Gig, go for a charge. Wing Drake, or Wing Tree, I want you to be on defense, and Codal, go ahead and just start striking. We'll see how much damage we can put out. 14, yeah. Has no effect on Codal, because it's a fire air-based attack, and he's a dragon, so he doesn't care. Wing Tree attacks, 42. Alright. All these fire-based attacks, though, do so much damage to the Wing Tree. Yeah, he's got to defend himself. Or he's not going to make it through the next round. Oh, there we go. Awesome. And now we're going into the final match. Master Tio here is a jerk, for starters. And we have met him. He is the gentleman that we meet on the staircase when we're first coming into the Great Tree. However, he has probably one of my favorite monsters, that Armapede right there. I love that thing. That thing is a beast, and I love it. Oof. Oof. No, no, no. Oh, Wing Tree's dead. Oh, Gig might be next. Oh, Cole might be next. Whew. Die, die, die. Alright, we got one of them down. And it casts Twin Head. Awesome. So, that Armorpede is going to do a massive amount of damage. And it's gonna hurt a lot. Oh! Oh, actually, that didn't do anything. It barely did anything. Okay, yeah, no. We might be good? 12. 3. I think he's throwing Massacre. Or I think he's using Massacre, or maybe a Tackle. We ended up winning. Not the best rounds in the world. Ugh. But that ends up getting us through Class E. Which opens up the Room of Peace and Bravery for us. And that is it. I would like to thank you all so much for watching. We are going to pick this back up in the next video. We're going to run through those 2 new dungeons that we have open and try and crack our way through the next round of the tournament, which I believe should be D? Yeah. So we're going to try and crack our way through the next round of the tournament as well. Once we get D class open up, we will have a little bit more access and we'll get a little bit more story as well. But in the meantime, hope you all have a great rest of your day, and thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Oh boy!